Coming up on Focal Point, an MSU student is found dead in Mayo Residential Hall.
Remember, the students speaking out today may not be old enough to vote, but one day they will.
Students step out of the classroom to rally for gun control. And be careful out on the roads, not only for other cars, but for potholes. Focal Point starts now.
Good morning. I'm Kelly Sheridan, and we begin today on a sad note.
Yeah, I'm Caitlin DeLuca. A 22-year-old female student was found dead in her dorm room at Mayo Hall. Her name is Nikki Tuchinski, a junior biomedical science major. She was found in her dorm room at Mayo Hall on Sunday night. Parker Anderson is a friend of hers and says he prompted a wellness check. That's when her body was discovered. Anderson says he will always cherish his relationship with her.
If every second of heartbreak that I felt was the price that I had to pay for being her friend, I would be willing to take it 2, 3, 4, 5 times over again, because that's how amazing she was and that's how much she meant to me.
MSU police haven't released a cause of death, but they say foul play has been ruled out.
Tuesday marked the official start of spring, but with winter in the rear window, drivers are already complaining that pothole season has begun. In a state with an already bad reputation for roads, damaging potholes are making it difficult for drivers and their cars.
You get in your car. Fasten your seatbelt and go. Only to be greeted with a minefield of cracks and holes, because it's pothole season. And most roads in Michigan,
they're terrible.
Look like this.
Fixing them in steel.
But it's not all bad news for store manager of Newcast Tire, Jack Rutledge.
I wouldn't say I enjoy it, but it is good for our business.
Rutledge says almost all the damage he sees in the winter is from potholes.
On average, I'd say we have 3 to 8 flat repairs a day in the months of January and February. We have a lot of bent wheels, a lot of blown out sidewalls, and it's all due to pothole damage.
Both the cities of East Lansing and Lansing say they're willing to reimburse for damages caused from roads.
Well, yeah, it's their responsibility.
However, MSU student Evan Connolly says they should prevent these issues after a sales tax was rejected last year that would go to road repairs.
I don't know why they didn't do it.
In the meantime, Rutledge says the best thing drivers can do is have quality tires.
Well, obviously, it's not as appealing to the eye to have your regular old 16-inch tall tire, but it definitely will help your vehicle.
So while you're driving and nervous you'll get a flat, just think about how the season is almost over.
Just this week, Governor Rick Snyder signed a bill increasing funding for this year's construction season, adding an additional $175 million to the budget for upcoming projects. 1 month after the school shooting in Parkland, Florida, schools nationwide staged walkouts to honor the 17 victims and rally for gun control. Okemos High School was one of more than 80 Michigan schools to participate, as more than 600 students left class at 10 a.m. last Wednesday. Focal Point's Chloe Keipel shows us how these students are demanding action.
It's a sign of the times.
We cannot give the departed their lives back.
That thousands of students nationwide walked out of class today.
It could be anyone in any school at any time.
To say enough is enough.
We've had mass shooting after mass shooting.
And to remember the shooting victims at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School.
These walkouts are showing that different student bodies all over the country are united, and everyone agrees that this is wrong.
Okemos High School is a weapon-free zone, and they want to stay that way despite national rhetoric about arming teachers.
By arming our teachers, not with firearms, but with books and school supplies and higher pay.
I'm here to support the students and to promote gun control.
Lansing area politicians called on the masses
to protect all Michigan children,
to use their voices.
We want action now.
And their votes to affect change. Because it's scary when the voice of reason.
I don't want my school to call my mom saying that I died in a school shooting.
Is just 8 years old.
Like, I wouldn't want that, because my mom would be crying for like her whole entire life.
And even more scary that he thinks this could happen to him. In Lansing, Chloe Keipel, Focal Point News.
The Trump administration proposed improving background checks for gun buyers as well as arming school administrators with firearms. Both of these ideas have been met with controversy.
In more news from Capitol Hill, President Trump's budget plan included many cuts across different areas, including education, which had some students worried.
This proposal would cut nearly $4 million in government student aid. Treasurer Roberts joins us from the Spartan Newsroom with more details. Treasurer?
Caitlin, President Trump and Education Secretary Betsy DeVos wanted funding for vouchers and school choice. The proposal would cut the Pell Grant aimed to help college students.
Thank you. Scan.
Thank you.
Thank you.
After scan.
It's a long work day.
When Keelan Broussard isn't studying neuroscience, she's doing a less scientific job, scanning cards at the Brody Calf.
It pays, $10.50. That's all that really matters.
Like other students, she spends a lot of her time trying to make money with not one, but...
I have 2 jobs.
Unfortunately, we're getting to the point now where they are working too much.
The Trump administration is looking to cut almost $4 billion in annual funding for student aid programs, which could cause students who are already working hard towards their education to work even harder just to stay in school.
Part of the motivation behind getting another job is because I wanted to start paying off those loans.
The proposed 2019 fiscal budget could eliminate loan forgiveness and freeze the federal Pell Grant, a grant that makes it possible for kinesiology senior Jennifer Nachevsky to be in school.
And if I'd had to leave just because they decided to take away government aid or lessen the government aid that's given, I don't know, it just really stressed me out and really upset me.
If this budget proposal passes,
They're not going to be able to do the work they wanted to do. They're going to have to look for a job that pays more.
Yeah, I'm definitely going towards jobs that pay me more than something I'd rather do, because they're just like in the back of my head. I always have all this debt.
For now, Jennifer will be thinking about paying off her student loans in a few months, and Keelan will be back at the CAF scanning cards.
I gotta get that money. You feel me? Be right back.
The good news for these students is that Congress passed the spending bill Thursday, not only keeping the Pell Grant, but increasing funding for it. This will be welcome news for students like Keelan who rely on the grant to get through college. Caitlin, back to you.
Construction in downtown East Lansing is hard to miss, and the city of East Lansing is making efforts to continue to support businesses being affected by it. Find a Bee, Eat for Free is a project launched by the city starting this past week. The goal is to continue to draw consumers to East Lansing Shopping District despite the construction. Each week, the city will place a picture of a bee at a downtown restaurant. Find the bee, snap a picture, and hashtag BeDowntownEL, and you will be automatically entered to win an $100 gift card for that restaurant, along with a 3-hour parking voucher. This past week's restaurant was Buffalo Wild Wings, and you can find out where the bee is next by checking the City of East Lansing's Facebook page.
We really adopted the construction bee as our mascot because the intent is that, you start out where something's a little more challenging, but in the end it's sweet. So the sweetness here is that hopefully the downtown construction will be wonderful in the end, that we'll have a new Target down here and new apartments and senior living, so that it'll be wonderful for everyone.
The city will also be placing covers over meters with a bee on them, and if you see one, you can park there for free all day.
White nationalist Richard Spencer visits campus and raises controversy over free speech.
Plus, an MSU professor creates his own line of t-shirts to help victims of sexual assault. More after the break.
Ever wonder where courage comes from? Where one finds the strength to believe in solutions that seem impossible? It takes a Spartan's will to understand that by working together we can solve the world's biggest problems, from renewable energy to fighting malaria. After all, if we don't do it, who will? Spartans will.
Michigan State has everything a city has. Busy roads, businesses, a bustling web of pedestrians always on the move. It also has a police department, a big one. So what does it take to become an officer on Michigan State's campus? Focal Point's Angel Thompson has more.
It was back, I want to say my sophomore or junior year.
Antonio James always knew what he'd do after graduating from MSU.
So after a while, I was like, you know what, Ellen, let's go ahead and do it.
He hasn't moved far away. In fact, his job is still on campus.
Started going on ride-alongs with the PD, and so 1 turned to 2 and 2 turned into 6, and I really liked the people there. They were very transparent.
He's not alone in wanting a job with the MSU Police Department. Applications keep piling up.
What is very unique here is we have been hiring pretty consistently for the last 4 or 5 years.
Captain Doug Monette says engaging the community is something they take pride in.
Community team policing, and that is something that we focus on here, is that we try to interact and engage with our community.
This is a common place where you can find MSU officers having lunch and engaging with students in the residence halls.
Chris Meldy has been a criminal justice professor at Michigan State for over 10 years and conducts a lot of research based in schools and finds that citizen attitudes toward the police change when they see police being more visible.
I just think being part of the community and being visible in ways that are not intimidating helps people understand that they're there as you know, to assure a quality of life and that they're approachable.
It's a desirable department, maybe because it is the second largest in mid-Michigan. Today, Officer James wasn't fighting crime or making sure all 50,000 students were safe. Today, he was sharing his passion with students who want to follow in his footsteps.
And that's what we do. We engage with the community.
In East Lansing, Angel Thompson, Focal Point News.
For more information on how you can become an MSU police officer, or if you would like to go on a ride-along, contact the MSU Police Department for more information.
Richard Spencer exercises his First Amendment rights at MSU.
Plus, an MSU professor designs a t-shirt in support of sexual assault survivors. Tatiana Hemphill joins us in the Spartan newsroom with those stories and more. Tatiana?
Thanks, Kelly. Campus is usually empty over spring break, but when alt-right leader Richard Spencer came to East Lansing, people from near and far gathered on campus to protest. On a chilly afternoon, while most students were on spring break, Spencer came to East Lansing for a speech, but was met with some resounding protest. People traveled from across the state to express their outrage. Anger may have been in the air in the Agricultural Center, and that's why an alternative event was planned across town at the All Saints Episcopal Church. They called it a celebration of love and kindness. Families enjoyed music and crafts at the event, and 7-year-old Ida Filkins learned a lot.
Love means loving people and caring.
And caring? Do you care about people no matter who they are?
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell me, Ida.
Even the people that bully me.
Back over at the Spencer speech, hundreds of protesters showed up. Police say there were few arrests and only 50 people ultimately attended the speech itself. Spencer has since canceled the rest of his college campus tours after the backlash here at MSU. A journalism professor has created a t-shirt to raise money for organizations that support survivors of Larry Nassar's sexual abuse. The t-shirts are meant to not only bring awareness, but also help in the prevention of sexual violence against children and adults. During the Larry Nassar case, MSU journalism professor Brendan Watson struggled emotionally. Watson was sexually abused when he was younger and said it has been a really difficult time for him. So he decided to do something positive.
And the design of the t-shirt is both kind of a celebration of survivors' voices, as well as kind of recognition that a university will continue to be here, but it needs to be a different type of university, one that listens to its kind of constituents, that supports its community, that protects its community from these types of incidences.
The long sleeve t-shirt is $20 and the short sleeve t-shirt is $15. The raised money will go to EVE, which stands for End Violence Encounters, and the Small Talk Child Assessment Center in Lansing. The MSU campus could be the center of a new drama. Web series is being produced here. MSU senior Charisma Tatum is the creative force behind it, and it could need some work for student actors and producers. In fact, casting calls and auditions are full steam ahead, and the production crew is looking forward to the rehearsals. After working on the script for about a year, Tatum is excited for this new platform for students on MSU's campus.
So it's based on her rising to the top of their COBS, which is their Congress of Black Students at the university, and just some things that take place and how what has happened in her past and her experiences influence how she acts at school.
Although auditions are over, Charisma is looking for producers to help her complete her team to get the ball rolling on MSU's new web series. That's what's happening on campus. I'm Tatiana Hemphill. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Tatiana. We all know that the MSU men's basketball team will be watching the rest of the tournament from the comfort of their own couches.
Yeah, and the women's team saw their season come to an end last night as well. Ryan Cole gives all of us an update on both teams.
Yes, Kelly, Michigan State bounced early from the NCAA tournament in a shocking upset on Sunday. Plus, Susie Merchant's team lost an overtime duel in the women's NIT. All the latest news coming up in sports.
Ever wonder where courage comes from? Where one finds the strength to believe in solutions that seem impossible? It takes a Spartan's will to understand that by working together we can solve the world's biggest problems, from renewable energy to fighting malaria. After all, if we don't do it, who will? Spartans will.
Welcome back to Focal Point. I'm Ryan Cole. March Madness is underway, and unfortunately for Spartan fans, it was an early exit for Tom Izzo's squad. A team that won the regular season Big Ten championship fell short of expectations. A Spartan-heavy crowd was on hand in Detroit to watch the green and white play last weekend. Focal Point's Michael Epps takes us inside Little Caesars Arena.
Just coming to have a good time.
What could go wrong?
I do love the atmosphere.
Everything was in place for Michigan State.
When the MSU's name came up, I raised up right off the couch in total jubilation.
It started with some unfinished business.
We bought these tickets last April. When Miles Bridges said he's coming back, I said we're buying tickets because I bet they send us to Detroit.
All they had to do was win, like they did 29 other times this season.
I think we should win.
In fact, win at home.
All the way here, we saw people in MSU gear. It was super cool.
Well, as close to home as they could get in the tournament.
I know for the team, it's got to be great to know that they're here at home and they're going to have tons of supporters.
It was a party in their own backyard.
I taught class this morning and we got in the car and here we are.
Trey Rogers teaches at MSU and usually travels to the Big Ten tournament.
We didn't go this year because we spent our money on this with the hopes that we'd go to Detroit.
It's unfinished business for fans, too.
And when you can be a home crowd, they just love it. Coach Izzo, if there's anybody who knows the NCAA tournament, it's him.
The alumni's pep rally in downtown Detroit kicked things off.
Go Green!
Even interim president John Engler took the hour-and-a-half drive.
Just walked in the door. We had a busy day on campus.
What could go wrong?
Time is running out. Winston, a three, no good! The madness is real! The Orange crushed the Spartans' tournament hopes.
It's probably the saddest I've ever been in my life.
A second-round loss seemed unthinkable, especially in front of their home fans.
I'm sad I couldn't do it, but life goes on. And yeah, I don't know, just life goes on.
So what could go wrong?
I don't know how the ride home is going to be.
In a Spartan's eyes,
March sadness.
Everything. In Detroit, I'm Michael Epps, Focal Point News.
And that's right, Michigan State, one of the favorites in the entire tournament, bowed out in the second round in front of their home fans. Following a 4-point win over Bucknell in the first round, the third-seeded Spartans had to get through 11-seed Syracuse for a trip to the Sweet 16. Let's head to the second half with the Spartans up 3. Cassius Winston running the break here, finds Miles Bridges, yams it home. He attacks the rim so well, and the Spartans are up 5. Later on in the half, Bridges going to go for a swipe here and miss. O'Shea Brissett with the acrobatic layup cuts the Spartan lead to 1. That basket was part of a 7-0 Syracuse run. Now with under a minute remaining in the game, Tyus Battle, he hits this nasty step-back J to push the Orange lead to 3. Timeout MSU, danger zone for the Spartans. They get one last chance though, as Josh Langford corrals the missed free throw. Cassius Winston, half-court heave, doesn't go. Spartans lose 55-53, and the season comes to a close. The Orange celebrate, the Spartans wonder what might have been.
When you out-rebound a team by 21, that's average height is 6'9", and you got just about every loose ball we could get. And we got beat because we couldn't make a shot.
And a long offseason is on the way as the Spartans failed to make the tournament's second weekend for the 3rd year in a row. Meanwhile, the Spartan women missed out on the NCAA tournament, but they have been on a roll in the WNIT. They traveled to South Dakota for a third-round matchup on Thursday. The Spartan season ended, though, as they suffered an 85-83 overtime loss to South Dakota. Shea Colley led the Spartans with a career-high 31 points in the losing effort, including these three. It was the first 30-point game by a Michigan State player this season. Spartans' lead was as big as 7 in the fourth quarter, but the Coyotes scored 4 straight points in the last 22 seconds to send it to overtime, and then a Chloe Lamb three-pointer with 23 seconds left in the extra period sealed the win for the Coyotes.
My biggest message is your best day will never be in a uniform of any kind. I don't care if you play college, if you play in high school, if you play pro ball. I mean, your best day should never be lived in a uniform. There's a lot to life.
The Spartans finished the season 19-14. Elsewhere around East Lansing, today is football pro day for 5 outgoing seniors, as well as the Spartan baseball team. They take on Michigan in a 3-game series this weekend, while softball travels to Nebraska. And that's what's happening in sports. Back to Kelly in the studio.
Thanks, Ryan. Who likes green eggs and ham? I like them, Sam I am. And we all love Dr. Seuss. In honor of his creator, Theodore Geisel, and his birthday on March 2nd, March is known as National Reading Month, and you can take advantage of it at the Okemos Library. It's hosting several events to celebrate Dr. Seuss's legacy and to encourage young people to read. It has 4 different story times Monday through Friday for kids ages 3 to 8. This week, the library got a visit from Pete the Cat, where children were able to meet the character and have a special sing-along in arts and crafts. The library also hosted an event where students were able to read to therapy dogs to practice their reading and find comfort with some furry friends.
I think especially in an age of lots of screens and lots of tablets and phones and everything else, that just reading itself is an intrinsically good thing, you know. So it helps put the emphasis on the reading itself rather than you know, on something else.
The library has events throughout the year. A calendar can be found on Okemos' library website at cadl.org.
So Kelly, as Dr. Seuss would say, the more you read, the more things you will know, and the more places you will go. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Caitlin DeLuca.
And I'm Kelly Sheridan. Don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened. Another great Dr. Seuss
really
quote. Good. We now leave you with not with words, but with sounds from the MSU Wind Symphony. Have a good day.